Hi friends, I'm Rajnikant. Welcome you to my YouTube channel Sumanth Digital English Tutorial Videos. Dear guys, today I'm going to dictate answers for the questions of the first chapter of Snapshot 11th class English. Let's begin with the questions. Question 1. You will probably agree that this story does not have breathless adventure and exciting action. Then, what in your opinion makes it interesting? Its answer. The story, The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse, is a tale told from the viewpoint of a 9-year-old boy. At that age, imagination is rich and one can romanticize even the insignificant actions. To such a person, the world is full of excellence and glory, and life is delightful and mysterious dream. For the young poor boy, a ride on a beautiful white horse is a dream fulfilled. He had been always longing to ride, and his cherished dream is realized when his cousin Murad offers him a chance to ride on the horseback, first with him and then alone. Riding the stolen horse and riding it safely are the great feats of adventure for the two boys. Though the storyline is thin, we eagerly follow the course of action taken by the boys till they return the horse to its rightful owner. The story provides us a peep into child psychology. For boys who are crazy about horses, stealing horse for a ride is not stealing, though they enjoy the thrill of riding. They are conscious of their family pride. The Garoglanian family is well known for the honesty and trust. They would neither steal nor take advantage of anybody in the world. Another point of interest is characterization. The delineation of the common traits of Uncle Khusro and cousin Murad is superb. The story also contains many purple pages full of the pictorial description. All these heighten the appeal to the reader. Question 2. Did the boys return the horse because they were conscience stricken or because they were afraid? Its answer. The story gives no indication that the boys were afraid of anyone or anything. Hence, the return of the horse was not directed by the fear. Secondly, they were not at all conscience stricken. They did not feel any pangs of repentance or remorse at their action of stealing a horse solely for the purpose of riding it. The narrator makes it imply clear when he asserts that stealing a horse for ride was not the same thing as stealing something else such as money. For him, it was not stealing at all, as he and Murad were so crazy about horses. In his opinion, it would become stealing only when They offered to sell the horse, which he knew they would never do. The last phrase gives us a clue to their mental makeup. Murad hired the horse for over a month when the farmer John Byro visited the narrator's house. They retained it for 2 weeks more. Murad outrightly rejected the narrator's suggestion of keeping the horse any longer. It was his family pride that would not let them steal. He decided that the horse must go back to its true owner. The meeting with John Byro proved conclusive. He praised their family for its honesty. He trusted the boys as he knew their parents. Hence, in order to uphold the family tradition and reputation, the boys returned the horse to its rightful owner. Question 3. One day back, there in good old days, when I was 9 and the world was full of every imaginable kind of magnificence and life was still a delightful and mysterious dream. The story begins in a mood of nostalgia. Can you narrate some incident from your childhood that might make an interesting story? Its answer. I had just completed my primary education when I visited my uncle. He was a forest ranger in Dehradun. In those days, there was a thick forest in the vicinity of the city and all sorts of wild animals prowled there. Uncle had advised us not to enter the deep forest, but forbidden fruit is sweet. My cousin Varun and a couple of his friends and I decided to explore the southern range. We had the kits of scouts and were fully prepared. In our boys' enthusiasm, we went deep into the jungle and reached a gorge. We were amazed to see a lioness with her cubs. One of us, perhaps Mohit, clicked his camera. The flashlight scared the lioness and she roared and leaped. Fortunately, there was a big ditch and she fell into it. Meanwhile, we lit our torches, collected dry leaves and twigs and set them on fire. Momentarily, we got respite from our attackers. Then we threw some green leaves on fire and gave a smoke signal, and patrol party noticed it and rescued us. I shudder whenever I think this adventure when we were close to death. Question 4. The story revolves around characters who belong to the tribe in Armenia. Murad and Aram are members of the Garaglanian family, now locate Armenia and Assyria on the Atlas, and prepared a write-up on Garaglanian tribes. You may write about people, their names, traits, geographical and economic features as suggested in this story. Answer. The Garaglanian family. The Garaglanian family was an American tribe 11th century's ago, it was the wealthiest family in the part of the world. However, now every branch of the Gregorian tribe was living in most amazing and comical poverty in the world. These poor people had no money. Nobody could understand where they ever got money enough to keep them with food in their bellies. The Gregorian tribe were famous for their honesty. It had been the hallmark of the tribe for many centuries. They were proud of their family. Honesty came next, and then they believed in right and wrong. None of them would take advantage of anybody in the world. No member of the Gregorian family could be a thief. The elder felt pain to remember that they had lost their homeland. These people shifted their residences from one place to other. The narrator says that year we lived at the edge of the town on the Walnut Avenue. They loved countryside, having vineyards, orchards, olives, and walnuts. The names of the people are semi-Arabic, Murad, Aram, Khosrow, etc. Dear guys, it was all for today. Hope you must have understood everything. Keep watching this video from top to toe. Thanks for watching. Bye.